All right, guys, we are live. Welcome to Declassified Live. Happy Monday morning to you. I just got to actually get my what do you call this? Chat screen up. A lot to talk about today. The president is not, he is not at all happy with Robert Mueller. I have not seen Trump get this serious in a while. And I'm going to tell you what I mean. I think he knows something. Now, rumor has it he had Rod Rosenstein into the Oval Office the other day. And it was not let's just say it was not a good meeting for Rosenstein. I heard that it was pretty contentious. Rosenstein left the meeting pretty upset. He didn't speak to anybody. Those are from sources in the White House. Take them for what they're worth. But three different people familiar told me that meeting didn't go well. Now you see this war of words. The man they call Raz. Hello from London, England. From England. I'm sorry, you didn't say London. Marcin is saying hello, guys. George Watts from Canada. Hey, George, how are you? Good Monday morning. Had my Superman mug last week. Told you guys I have a Captain America mug. Decided to use that today. Marcin, hello from Poland. Was with a good buddy of mine from Warsaw last night. Was catching up with him. He comes down here to Florida as well, and his parents are over in Warsaw right now. They split their time. Great country. Wow, Hans, hello from Austria. Renee from Toronto. Jesus, you guys are coming in. Jup from Australia. Agent Sushi from England. John Zealand, good morning, my friend. How are you guys? Wow. Scotland's in the house. Missouri, USA. Missouri, Calvin from Louisiana. Hey, Spiral out in Missouri. I've been following that U.S. Senate race out there. I know the president's endorsing Josh Hawley. My good friend Tony Minetti, the B-2 pilot, is running in that race. Persia Motorman from Maine. Darren from Australia. Heartbreaker from London. Jules from New Zealand. Jason from Manchester. Franz from Amsterdam. Wow, you guys are doing awesome. Blue South, Texas. Love it, love it, love it. Frio County, the UK, England. Elmer Santiago, Kissimmee, Florida. Elmer, PSA 6. Wow, taking me way back. Glad to see you got out unscathed and retired to Florida. For you guys don't know what PSA 6 means, Police Service Area 6, back when New York City's housing police and the New York City Police Department were two separate entities. Well, actually, they kept PSAs while they merged, but it's a precinct in the housing projects. Elmer is fellow NYPD. Great to have you here, brother. Let's see what else we got. Who else we've got? Columbia up. And there goes our annoying stream. So just so you know, tomorrow, I'm going to be replacing all the modems and all the connectivity so that we don't run into these stream issues anymore. I already have everything ordered. I'm going to have a diagnostic done because it's telling me that our connectivity is great, but clearly there's a problem. So I've got the web provider coming out tomorrow morning to do an audit and a full analysis and get this fixed because it's just a pain, right? We got Lynchburg, Virginia in the house. Like I said, Columbia, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Hangman John Ruth, our buddy, Nottingham, UK, Czech nationalists. Why do you think? You have a good day. Why do I think? I don't know. Sidekick wants to know where my psychedelic shirt is. Dry cleaner. It's Monday. I got there too late yesterday. I really wanted to wear it for you guys. But the dry cleaner was not open. We missed that boat. But there's always tomorrow and the next day. And just a note, I have to let my producers know this as well. We might not have a live show tomorrow because I really want to have this web diagnostic done. They are scheduled to come right now around 7:30 in the morning. It was the only open appointment. I'm trying to get them to come a little bit later so I can do the show with you, but it really is important to diagnose all these issues because they're really, really out of control. And so we'll keep you guys posted on that on Twitter and on Facebook. But let's talk about what's going on. I'm going to get back to back to all your comments, but I really want to talk of words. against Robert Mueller. I don't know if you guys saw these tweets. They started last night. Very, very telling. Here's the first one. There's no collusion. The Robert Mueller rigged witch hunt headed now by 17, parentheses, increased from 13, including an Obama White House lawyer. Angry Democrats was started by a fraudulent dossier paid for by crooked Hillary and the DNC. Therefore, the witch hunt is an illegal scam. First time he ever used the words illegal. Illegal. First time. Then he went on to say, is Robert Mueller ever going to release his conflicts of interest with respect to President Trump? Here's where it gets really, really interesting, including the fact, this, something we haven't heard, that we had a very nasty and contentious business relationship. Then I turned him down to head the FBI one day before appointment of special counsel, and Comey is his close friend. Now, we knew about Mueller being turned down to head the FBI. We knew about Comey and Mueller being very close friends for years, but this is really the first we've heard of a contentious business relationship in the private sector between Donald Trump and Robert Mueller. And if true, becomes very, very problematic for Mueller and his man of integrity moniker. Then Trump finished up by saying also, why is Mueller only appointing angry Dems, some of whom have worked for crooked Hillary, others, including himself, have worked for Obama? And why isn't Mueller looking at all of the criminal activity and real Russian collusion on the Democrat side, Podesta, the dossier? He's right. Look, we know that Hillary Clinton colluded with the Russians. We know that. We know that. We know that she paid Fusion GPS through her law firm, Perkins Coie. We know that Perkins Coie paid Fusion GPS, who ultimately paid Christopher Steele, who colluded with Russians. So like I've been saying, apparently to the FBI and our DOJ, to Robert Mueller, it was okay for Hillary to collude with Russians to get dirt on Trump, but it's illegal for Trump to have colluded with Russians to get dirt on Hillary. Look, there is no, in my mind anyway, in my opinion, there is no question that this is a witch hunt at this point. None at all. None at all. There's no question that this is biased and rigged and unfair. None at all. None at all. I mean, there's no excuse. If you're investigating Russian interference and collusion, if you're Robert Mueller, then how do you not investigate Hillary Clinton's relationship with Christopher Steele and Christopher Steele's relationship with Russians who gave him dirt on Trump? You can't. You can't. I mean, certain things, they're going to try to overcomplicate it. They're going to try to give you convoluted explanations. They're going to try to tell you don't believe your lying eyes and don't believe your lying ears. Don't believe them. Don't believe them. And when I glance over, I look at your, I've got your chats coming up on two different screens here. I've got 3 screens in front of me, and I don't want to miss anything. So one comes in a little quicker than the last. Free Game of Bunta says Woodstock. Nice. Hey, I'm a peace and love kind of guy. And I love the music. Me, I'm all about peace. I'm all about love. Let's see. What have we got here? What are you guys saying? All right. Anyway, let's go back to this Mueller thing. Now, Mueller should never have taken the job to investigate why his friend was fired. All right. That was one of the reasons Mueller was appointed when Comey was fired. Mueller should have said, I'm too close to Jim Comey, instead of saying, I'm a man of integrity without any feelings and any opinions. No one is like that. Nobody. They wanted Mueller because they knew Mueller would see the world their side of the way, the deep state side of the way, the uniparty side of the way. But Trump is now punching in a way he has it. And everybody says, well, Trump is nuts, and he goes off half-cocked, and you got to take his tweets with a grain of salt, and yada, yada, yada. Well, it's not really the case. Trump is a very smart guy. Trump knows that the way he tweets, down to the syntax of how he tweets, is done for a very specific reason. A very specific reason. And one of those reasons, and if you guys watch me rub my hands, I just put some sanitizer on them. Fanatical about that, because you heard my allergies. Since I've been doing this, they've been a lot better. They've been a lot better. No, I'm not OCD. I don't have I'm not a germaphobe, But I have to tell you, since one of my doctor said try to use the hand sanitizer, it helps get some of the allergens off your hands. Since I've been doing it, I've been great. I haven't had allergies, so something to it. Anyway, but if Mueller should never have investigated his friend. But if this is true, if what Trump is tweeting is true, and I have no reason to think it's not, because like I was saying, Trump's tweets are very nuanced. He uses a certain syntax to sound like he's ranting and raving and like he's just a regular guy. Luke Viano, good morning, crew. Good morning to you, Luke. But in those tweets are nuggets, are diamonds, are nuggets of gold. Okay? And that one tweet that he put out last night, yesterday afternoon, about 3:34 Eastern time, was very telling. That he's saying that he and Mueller had a prior contentious, he called it very nasty, and contentious business relationship. Very telling. Very, very telling. To an extreme. Because if Mueller didn't disclose that in the private sector, something happened. Now, we don't know what happened. I'm sure Trump will elaborate, but maybe Mueller was the attorney on another side of a deal. Maybe his firm sued Trump or a Trump property. If that's the case, very problematic for Robert Mueller, even worse, very problematic for Rod Rosenstein, Jeff Sessions, and DOJ, with all of the other people out there who could have been picked as a special counsel. Why this guy? Why pick the guy who had a prior conflict with the subject of the investigation? Now they'll tell you, well, Trump wasn't the subject of the investigation. We were looking at collusion surrounding the Trump campaign. Of course they are. And if they're telling you they're not, they're lying to you. They are absolutely lying to you. And I don't like it when government lies to us. Now, Special K asks the question everybody wants to know. Why was there a special counsel? There was no crime committed. Well, that's what we all want to know. That's what we all want to know. That is what we all want to know. When we found out the dossier was used as the basis for Mueller's investigation, Mueller's investigation should have been shut down. All right. Should have been shut down immediately. Should have been shut right down. But it wasn't. And we've got to ask a lot of questions about why. About why. Now, Luke asks a great question. Is collusion a crime? No. There's nothing in the United States Code that criminalizes collusion. Collusion just means people cooperated at a table. So no. This was always meant to be an impeachment trap and a perjury trap. Czech nationalist says, I dropped my pen. Czech nationalist says, where was that? Politics has been, where was it? Because I like that comment. Politics stopped making sense a long time ago. Yeah, it did. It did. It really, really did. But we need to look at this investigation because it's destroying lives. Now, I've been encouraged in the past. Hangman John Ruth makes a good comment. Watergate was a crime. This is not. Yeah, it's true. I hate when people compare this to Watergate. The two have nothing to do with one another. They're not even remotely similar. Not even remotely similar. Good morning, James Gallagher. Good morning. And so there is no, that's the biggest problem we all have. Excuse me, those of us who analyze this stuff, who worked inside law enforcement, there's no crime actually being alleged here. The only crimes were Paul Manafort on 12-year-old financial crimes and General Flynn and Papadopoulos on bogus process crimes of subjectively misleading investigators. I do not believe General Flynn lied. That's just me. I don't. I know the man. I know his family. He's a good man. I don't believe he lied. Now, does Mueller have other indictments? Yeah. Think about who he indicted. 13 anonymous Russians that'll never see the inside of a courtroom and 12 intelligence officers who get paid to hack for a living and interfere. Like our people do, like the Mossad does, like MI6 does, like the French do, like every other country does. Every other country does. Frigama Bunta says Flint is a patriot. It's Flynn, Flynn, General Flynn, and I believe he is. Yes. Yes. The other thing that I see people out here, never Trumpers, saying, well, paying off a porn star, not illegal. Even if Trump wrote Stormy Daniels a $130 million check, not illegal. Not illegal to make a business decision to settle a matter to avoid the press fallout. You might not like it. It might be politically damaging. It might not, but it's not illegal. Nothing about it is illegal. If I want to settle a lawsuit, somebody sues me, and I've been in business, I've sued, I've been sued. Oftentimes, you look at what it would cost to fight it. You look at the value of the bad public relations of a lawsuit in general, no matter who wins. You look at the legal fees and what you might have to pay at the end in mediation anyway, and you say, it's a lot cheaper to just write a check in the beginning where both parties come to an agreement where you pay my legal fees, I pay yours, and we walk away. Happens every day in business. Nothing illegal about it. Nothing illegal about it. Nothing. But so Ferris Zuccotti says paying off porn stars is not illegal. That wasn't the point. The point was that he lied about it. No, it's just none of your business. Look, it's none of our business what any American, whether they be president, and I would say this about Obama, an American has due process rights under our Constitution for criminal and civil litigation and in the United States Code, and as a result of case law. One of those sacrosanct rules is lawyer-client privilege. It's not your business, my business, nobody's business, what a lawyer and their client discuss. I don't care. I don't care what politicians do in their private life. I don't care. I didn't elect Donald Trump because I thought he was a saint. I didn't vote for him. I knew the guy was out there. He's a billionaire, was a good-looking guy when he was young, very charismatic. I knew he was out there screwing around. We all did. He did it on television, for God's sakes. I didn't elect a saint to the president of the United States. I elected a killer, a doer. I don't really care what he did with a porn star 12 years ago. Don't care. Couldn't care less. Wouldn't care if Obama did it and got bogged down in all the rumors about Obama's personal life. Don't care. I care what they do in the office. I care what they do in the office. That's it. That's it. A billionaire paying off somebody to go away doesn't affect how, and 130 grand. It's a rounding error. Trump's private 757 burns more fuel than that on a trip across the country. It's a rounding error to a billionaire. That didn't even cross his mind again when he was running for president. Right. Okay. So Roy Earl sees it the way I see it. Trump is not a saint, but he is the best president America's had for a long time. Right president for the right time. That's how I see it. Because I'm not a Trump sycophant, but I do believe the man is doing an outstanding job. Look, 6 quarters of 2.8% GDP growth, 4.1% last quarter, an average of 2.8% GDP growth over 6 quarters. Obama only averaged 1.4% at best. Trump is literally doubling Obama's economic progress. That's what I care about. Lowest unemployment numbers across the board for all races. That's what I care about. A safer world. That's what I care about. Deregulation, the United States being the largest net producer and exporter of energy, oil, natural gas in the next 4 to 5 years. That's what I care about. I don't really care if Donald Trump screwed around with a porn star and then paid her off. Don't care. Could not care less. No one does. No one does. Americans are economic voters. That's why we are just done with this Robert Mueller thing. Why we're done with it. We are done. Absolutely done. We're economic voters. We care about our wallet. We like lower taxes. We like deregulation. We like business booming. We like 2.8% GDP growth quarterly. We love that. That's what we want. Do you really, honestly, search deep in your soul. Do you really care what anybody, forget the president. I don't care if it's the guy who bags your groceries. If it's the guy who bags your groceries, all you care about is that he doesn't put heavy stuff on top of the eggs. That he doesn't put glass under heavy stuff and it crashes in your back. That's all you care about. You just want to know when you go there, he's on his game and he diagnoses you properly. You don't really care who your doctor is out. We care about the things that affect us. That affect us. That's what we care about. That's all we should ever care about. That's where, as conservative as I am, I'm very socially libertarian. I don't care who you date, who you marry, who you sleep with. Don't care. If I have to do business with you, if you represent me, just do a good job. Then do what you want to do. I don't care if you dress up like My Little Pony and that gets your freak on when you're not doing work for me. I don't care. Just do a good job for me when you're doing the job for me. That's all I care about. That's it. And that's why we're sick of this Mueller thing. It's nonsensical. It's idiotic. It's dumb. We're investigating nothing now. We're tearing the country apart. Mueller is gutting this nation. And he's enabled by the mainstream media. So Trump has a meeting with Arthur Sulzberger Jr. or A.G. Sulzberger, or whatever Sulzberger it is now, that liberal family. And he and Trump got into a public clash, and Sulzberger said the president misrepresented a private meeting with him and violated off the record, but the president's the subject. And Trump said on Twitter that he and Sulzberger had discussed, quote, the vast amounts of fake news being put out by the media and how the fake news morphed in the phrase enemy of the people, sad. So Sulzberger said that he was troubled by Trump's anti-press rhetoric. Sulzberger also said, quote, I told the president directly that I thought his language was not just divisive, but incredibly dangerous. I told him that although the phrase fake news is untrue and harmful, I'm more concerned about his labeling journalists enemy of the people. I warned that his inflammatory language is contributing to a rise in threats against journalists and will lead to violence. Now, Sulzberger, question. By violence, do you mean Republicans being shot at a baseball game, Rand Paul being savagely beaten on his lawn by his liberal neighbor, a young kid having his MAGA hat ripped off and soda thrown in his face by an unhinged leftist weirdo, Antifa trying to beat people with bats? Oh, yeah, there's been violence because of fake news, because of you and the liberal media. That's where the violence has been. Now, I want to go back to another comment. I forget who wrote it, but it was good. They said that they do care about the indoctrination of children, liberal indoctrination of children. And remember, you can always super chat. You got that icon, the little money icon. Your comment will pop up so I don't miss it. Well, the media is indoctrinating those children. Yeah, there's been violence. Yeah, the media acts like an enemy of the people. Absolutely. There's been a lot of violence. You know why? The media has enabled it. They do print fake news. Fake news isn't a fake statement. There really is fake news. We know that. There's a lot of fake news out there. Anonymous source, anonymous source, anonymous source. Oops, let's retract. Anonymous source, anonymous source, anonymous source. Oops, we made a mistake. That's the definition of fake news. Editing video content is the definition of fake news. CBS, Dan Rather, fake memos written on a computer in their production office claiming George W. Bush had problems in the military was fake news 20 years ago or whatever it was. 16 years ago, how long that was. There's been a ton of fake news. And you notice that the fake news never seems to affect Democrats or liberals. So Sulzberger doesn't know what he's talking about. Screw him. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Hollywood spreads more fake news than anybody. But it is rich. It is rich for Sulzberger, the New York Times publisher, to come out and say that there's going to be violence. They cause violence every day with false narratives about brutal police officers and praising Black Lives Matter who want dead cops. Chaz1422 gave us a donation. Thank you, sir. He says, Donnie Deutsch used his overcapitalized media platform to call all Trump voters Nazis. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, says Carl Sagan, the astronomer who passed. I used to enjoy his shows as a kid. You're right. Look, guys like Donnie Deutsch on the left, New York ad guy, big in Hollywood, wants to be loved. Very easy to call people Nazis, right? Very easy. It's disgraceful. It's reprehensible. Those of us who have had family, extended family, who fought in World War II against the Nazis, for the Americans, proudly, for the Canadians, for the Brits, for the Australians, all of my audience. You had relatives, extended relatives, friends of relatives fighting in World War II against the Nazis, dying there. Every day my audience comes on Scotland, the UK, Australia, Canada, the Allies in World War II. The liberals call you Nazis. How disgusting. How reprehensible is that? Michael Horrigan says CNN was practically an infomercial for ISIS in 2016. Great comment. They were an infomercial for ISIS. Oh, just remember Obama said, let's just give them jobs and entitlements. Maybe ISIS will stop killing. No, you got to kill ISIS. You got to kill ISIS. So I'm seeing something here that says, I don't even know what this guy's talking about. He says, new conspiracy. Oh, it's a conspiracy theory claiming Air Force One. He said a Navy missile fired at Air Force One. Oh, that's a dumb Q thing. Oh, God, no. Why did I even read it? That QAnon moron. I thought that maybe there was a test. Oh, you're talking about that dumb conspiracy theory. No, the Navy didn't. Nobody shot a missile at Air Force One. Stop listening to that QAnon moron. It's fake. It's disinformation. All right, Scotland's in the house. Another ally. Awesome. And Greg McClellan says leftists are the Nazis. Yeah, they act like Nazis. Roy Earl says Obama funded and armed the rebels in Syria, a.k.a. ISIS. Yeah, and most of that, I think, or a good portion of that came through Benghazi. Look, I was talking to a friend of mine last night from the intelligence community. We were talking about the disaster, I should say, Obama was in the Middle East. Gaddafi was a good boy. He was cooperating with America. Americans were getting rich off Gaddafi. He didn't want to wind up like Saddam Hussein. Gaddafi was our bitch. He was our bitch. No, Q, guys, is not worth a look. It's fake. I worked in this world. It's fake. And everybody laughs at it. You believe some anonymous account that's just telling you what you want to hear and giving you insane conspiracy theories. But anyway, Gaddafi was our bitch. Gaddafi did whatever we wanted him to do. For some inexplicable reason, Obama and Hillary went in there and upended the entire situation. Got our people killed in Benghazi. Started dealing weapons to ISIS. Gaddafi was totally in check. Elmer Santiago says housing is available. Elmer, I'm 84 at the location. You guys should come in on the back. That was good, Elmer. Thanks for the donation. Good blast from the past. I needed that. And for you guys who don't know what Elmer's doing, he's just basically putting over the radio and NYPD speak that his unit's available if we need him for anything. Awesome. Let's see. Greg McClellan says we will fight the left to defend America to the last man and the last bullet. Trump 2020. Johnny Five says, Waco happened because of Hillary. She was mad because the news coverage was taken away from Hillary Care. She's responsible. Well, look, now I think that happened more to make a point against guns, and it was a Janet Reno, Bill Clinton anti-gun move at a time when they needed to sell their assault weapons ban, and the country wasn't having it, and it blew up in their face. It just miserably blew up in Team Clinton's face. So, I was talking to some people last night. Like I said, a friend of mine from Poland who was in their special operations community, a friend of mine who worked with the intelligence community here, and something people don't understand. And many of you probably don't know this. Some of you might. But do you remember that comment when Barack Obama leaned into Dmitry Medvedev and said, I'll have more flexibility after my election? Do you know what he was talking about? And interesting when the stream cuts on me. Very interesting time when the stream cuts on me when I'm talking about that. So what I was saying is, if you remember that comment when Barack Obama leaned into Dmitry Medvedev and said, I'll have more flexibility after my election. Do you know what he was talking about? He was reassuring Medvedev and asking Medvedev to reassure Putin that Obama and the United States would not provide Poland with the missile defense system. That's what Obama was reassuring Russia. That's what he was reassuring Russia on. It was sinister, it was evil, and it was about the most pro-Russian thing any president's done. Don't worry, we're not going to protect Poland, Russia. You have nothing to worry about if you want to roll on in or strike Poland from the air. That's what Obama was doing, and the mainstream media buried that part. They buried it. They buried it. Wise to the ways, says Mueller is running the clock. And I believe so. I believe what's going on here is Mueller and Rosenstein are blocking DOJ, are blocking Congress. They're running the clock. Rosenstein is hoping Democrats get control of Congress so he won't be called on his nonsense and his obstruction. Let's see. John Zealand, doesn't look like Trump is going to get funding for the wall. Paul Ryan at work. Yeah, Paul Ryan luckily is out of there in a few months. What are we at? Oh, we need August, September, October, November, December, 5 months. Ryan's out of there. So, yep. Twitter is barely hanging on. They're not going to get rid of their cash cow. Yeah, Twitter, I mean, Facebook got destroyed in the market. Twitter, I don't see how Twitter hangs on at all. They have no, at least Facebook has a definable revenue model. Makes some sense. Twitter has none. John, who do I think will be speaker next? Hangman John Ruth. I'd like to see Jim Jordan, but I think it's going to be McCarthy because we still have a lot of rhinos in there. McCarthy has done just enough pro-Trump bidding. He's done just enough fence sitting. So I think he's got the votes right now, barring anything big happening. He's the guy. Roy Earl says Facebook lost billions. Facebook lost 120 billion plus. 120 billion plus. Johnny Five, I want Jim Jordan, but he doesn't have the votes. He's never going to get the votes from the majority of the chamber. Yeah. So I love Jim Jordan. I want Jim Jordan, but I'm also a pragmatist and I've got to be an honest analyst for you guys. I can't tell you what you want to hear. I got to give you the analysis on the data. And right now, unfortunately, it looks like it'll be McCarthy. Now, I've interviewed McCarthy. I've spoken to McCarthy offline. He's a really nice guy. I think he's more conservative than he lets himself be, believe it or not, but he's no Jim Jordan. Dr. Slappy says Trump needs to make some recess appointments, specifically AG. Yep. Absolutely. 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 It's ridiculous. Will Trump shut down the federal government? He tweeted that he would. He said he definitely will. He's not about wasteful spending. Trey Gowdy should run for something other than Congress, Matt Gauthier says. Well, he's leaving Congress. Trey Gowdy's going to the private sector. He's leaving. And good riddance. He's a lot of bark, very little bite. Nobody on the right, none of us conservatives are really going to miss Twitty. Gowdy. Michelle Maybell says, I was banned from Twitter permanently because I called Demi Lovato a skank, but I reported people calling me way worse than that and nothing happened to them. Well, it's a private company. They love Hollywood. The girl overdosed. Maybe it wasn't the best time to insult her. You know? I don't know. I wouldn't have done it. I don't like kicking people when they're down. Demi Lovato never did anything to me. She's young. She's troubled. Yeah, Hollywood has problems, but I see no reason to beat up a young girl with an addiction problem. But that's just me. Special K says, let's see. Special K says, Sessions and Rosenstein will be fired once special counsel's wrapped up. Going to be too late. Got to do it sooner. You got to send a message. Cromwell 13649 says, Trump wasn't going to beat Hillary, but he did. Maybe Jordan will win too. A little different. Can't compare it. You can't compare the American electorate to Congress people. These people in Congress already have their agendas and their appropriations and all the things they need to have continue. And they feel that those will continue more effectively with Jim Jordan than they will with Kevin McCarthy than they will with Jim Jordan. It's a little bit different. I understand your point, but the whole election process for speaker, much different than that for president of the United States. Let's see. Trump should start a rival platform to Twitter. Well, he's the president of the United States. He can't really start a business. And it's not going to work. Look, Twitter's just too big, too entrenched. Many like me in media were dependent on the platform. It is what it is. It is what it is. Mark Two-Tone says, Facebook has 2 billion users. The company will continue to do well only if they can continue to sell your data. Its advertising is unsustainable. Facebook's value is in the data. That's where all the value is. Johnny Five says, already a rival platform on Twitter. It's called Gab. Gab never took off. Not user intuitive, only a couple of 100,000 people. They've got a lot of those kooky, like just people I wouldn't associate with on there, spewing craziness. I have a Gab account. It's verified. I gave them a donation. They gave them $100 when they started. I helped crowdfund it. They really become something that I don't want to be a part of. And they're too small. And it's because they went for sensationalism over quality. And they had a great opportunity to grow, but they're not going to get the traction they need. And it's going to be, I think Gab has reached critical mass. I don't see them getting any bigger. But my opinion, but I'm usually pretty good with that. Top Secret says being uncensored is quality. Sure. In some sense of the word. But when you have people on there spewing some of the insanity and hate and just, you're not going to get reputable people to be part of it. And you're not going to bring the masses with you. You're just not. John Smith, Twitter is silencing anyone with a conservative view. Yes. Okay, I can't read your name. Priya Chinapawakawakawang. There must be a reason why President Trump is afraid of firing Sessions. What's my take? And why Director Christopher Wray is doing nothing. All right, second question first. Christopher Wray is a DOJ lawyer. He doesn't really know how to run the FBI. He's paralyzed with fear. I've talked to agents. He sends a lot of memos restricting them. Doesn't really know what he's doing. So Wray was the wrong guy. Why is Trump afraid to fire Sessions? He can't get anybody else confirmed. It's a fight he doesn't need right now in the Senate. He's got to get Judge Kavanaugh confirmed. After that, let's see what happens. Johnny Five is saying, the more people move it, will take off. Free speech to Gab. Work like that. That's any business. If I get the product here at my desk, I say, well, the more people buy it, it'll be a success. You got to give people a reason to come. And I believe Gab killed that reason with some of the they've allowed onto the platform. Many of us who are reputable in media wouldn't go there because we don't want our brands tarnished. We don't want our brands tarnished. There are people on Gab I wouldn't want my content alongside because it would destroy me. And I don't agree with them. Michelle Mybell says Judge Jeanine Pirro should be AG. Don't kid yourself. I bet the president's considered that. She had some problems, though. Her husband had some legal issues years back, but probably hurt her confirmation. Let's see. How does Congressman, John Zealand asked me, how does Congress grease congressmen for votes? So leadership, it's a good question. Leadership basically goes to them and says, you know, like right now, Paul Ryan is speaker. He's going to say, vote for Kevin McCarthy, or you're going to lose your committee assignments, your appropriations, and no bill that you float will see the light of day. Oversimplified version. Then the committee chairs step in. Now, the committee chairs have more staying power, right? They say to him, well, Ryan might be gone, but if you don't vote for McCarthy as speaker, I'm going to make sure my committee never hears any of your issues. Your bills will never see the floor because they'll never get through my committee. So Congress has its own little deep state. Don't kid yourself. Don't kid yourself. And that's how it works. And it doesn't just happen in the U.S. Congress, happens at every state legislature as well. And I'm going to do something here. Let's see. Billy Breitbart says, why don't I like free speech? I love free speech. And it's my right to not want to associate with people that I think are dumb and is conspiracy. God bless them. Did I say that a platform like that should be shut down? Did I say they shouldn't be allowed to engage on free speech on that platform? I love free speech. Love it. I just also reserve the right to not associate with people who sound dumb or hateful or conspiratorial. That's my right to free speech. You know, many on the right are as bad as people on the left. If you don't want to spew stupid conspiracy theories on the right, then you're considered anti-free speech. It's like the left wanting to shut you down. But the whole operative word in that free speech thing is free. I'm free to do whatever I want. I don't want to deal with morons. I don't want to deal with conspiracy theorists. That's my right. Johnny Five says, according to my metric or others in the media, my brand should stand and be measured on its own merit, just like any other brand. I see what I'm saying, but all that matters is free speech. Look, I agree with you. Yes. Judge my brand on its merits, on the quality and accuracy of what I turn out for you. But within that, I've got to also make myself credible. And the way I do that is by not associating with others in media who I deem to be conspiratorial or inaccurate, no matter what side of the aisle they're on. No matter what side they're on. And again, that's my right. It doesn't mean I'm stifling their speech. I'm not calling for them to be shut down. Look, I'll say this. I've beaten up Alex Jones on this show, right? I think he's a conspiracy theorist. I found some of his theories reprehensible. I think his shtick is tired and over the top, and he comes off dumb. However, I would fight until the end to allow him to have his platform, because he has a right to say what he says. I may think it's wrong. I might criticize it. Maybe he and I will go back and forth, but that's good for you. That debate between me and an Alex Jones, or me and a conspiracy theorist, or me and a far left winger, is what you deserve to hear. So while I don't agree with Alex and I don't like his style, I would fight till the end to make sure he has his platform. I want him to scream and yell and tear his shirt off and disagree with me. And I want to go back at him with facts. I want you to get both sides of the story. I want you to get both sides of the story. So when they try to silence Alex Jones for 30 days, Facebook, that's reprehensible. Just because I don't agree with the guy doesn't mean I want him silenced. On the contrary, I want to speak and I want to be able to publicly disagree with him. I want it to be an educational moment for the audience. And then let the audience decide whose point of view they believe or prefer. That's what's important. So yes, I don't believe in the stifling that Twitter and Facebook are doing. I don't believe in the way they're shutting down speech, and they're doing it in very cowardly. They're doing it in a very cowardly way. These algorithms that push keywords and the shadow banning, they don't have any guts. Look, I would respect Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey, the guys who run Facebook and Twitter, if they came out and said, we're private companies, conservative speech is not our cup of tea, we're going to censor conservatives more than liberals, that's our policy, deal with it. Tell you a story. 2008 election night, McCain Obama, a couple of buddies of mine and I went to a bar to watch the results come in. One of them had recently returned from his third deployment in Iraq. He was very passionate, hardcore conservative. He transitioned out of the Army over to the Coast Guard so he could be in Florida with his wife and kids. And he took a full-time job at the Coast Guard down here doing more Homeland Security work. Good guy, great American. We're in the bar, and he's getting really loud as the results are coming in. It's the middle of the call. We really don't know who's going to win. And the manager walked over, nice guy, and he says, hey, guys, listen. This is a Democrat bar. We're a liberal place. We're Obama fans. So you're kind of making people uncomfortable. Didn't throw us out, but he made his position known. And I turned around to the guy and said, hey, man, all good. Thanks for the heads up. Shook his hand, paid the check, gave him a nice tip, and we left. And went to a place down the street that didn't have a political bent. Now, I don't agree politically with that manager. And he didn't ask us to leave. And our service was great. And our food was good. And the waitress was smiling and joking with us about it. But it was our call. We chose not to be in a place that didn't fit our ideology. And he was man enough to, like a man, walk up to me and say, hey, man, we disagree on this. It's uncomfortable for us. It's uncomfortable for you. Just a heads up. They didn't do like cowardly things. They didn't hold our drinks back or mess our order up or spit in our food or tell us they didn't have something they had or serve the table next to us. They were professional about it. It was a mom and pop bar establishment. It was his bar. He was manager and owner, actually. It was his right to say it. It was our right to choose to stay or go if you wanted us to go. But the gentleman, we started seeing Facebook and Twitter do it that way. More power to him. More power to him. And hopefully by tomorrow, we'll have these stream problems fixed. Hopefully by tomorrow, we will. Now, Merkmad says, what sort of businessman tells his customers that he doesn't like their politics? A pretty stupid one, I'd say, or a really smart one, because he knew his crowd. He was going for a certain crowd in a certain, this area is very like, it's on the ocean. It's a little beachy, known as a blue area, very liberal. He knew his crowd. His place is very successful. Been there for years. Good food, nice sized drinks. He knows his crowd. He plays to them. So, in my opinion, he was a pretty smart businessman because we were in a really, really blue pocket. It just so happened that the girlfriend of one of the guys used to work there. She had a lot of friends who worked there. She was apolitical. That's why we went there. That was it. But point is, it was his right. Whether you don't like the way he does business or like the way he does business, it was his right to say it. And he was honest about it. He was honest about it. Hangman John Ruth says we had more respect for each other's view 10 years ago after Obama had all changed. Yeah, I tend to think Obama polarized the nation. I tend to agree with you. Vito Anthony D says, I have nice t-shirts. Not crazy about the Skull and Bones one, but they're interesting. Yeah, but that one is a Fender guitar. It just says the spirit of rock and roll. It's not like any Illuminati hidden message. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Merkmad says, no, never smart. You've run clubs, but know how to keep a crowd happy. But to say something that the customers is stupid. Well, if you knew this particular neighborhood, it's really not. Because this particular neighborhood went for a while like 85%. And it's a neighborhood place. A lot of people walk there off the beach. So he really was playing to his crowd. Believe me. Bake me a cake or else, Billy Breitbart says. Yeah. So Roy Earl, the FBI has some very good personnel. Some weeding needs to be done. Yes, they do. I had dinner a couple of weeks back with an FBI agent, solid guy, former Army Ranger. He and the guys he works with are mortified. They hate Peter Strzok. They hate Andrew McCabe. Hate him. They actually said Comey treated them well. They thought he just left them alone. He left the street agents alone. They're disgusted by what he did now, but they said as a director, he let cops be cops. They actually liked them. John Zealand asked me, do I have a Rebel t-shirt? I don't. We have to get some made. Good idea. Good idea. All right. Illuminati, Vito Anthony D says, that's exactly what I was thinking. I thought the Fender guitar was a disguise for a crossbone. No. Feruza Kadi, I love this troll. Hilarious how people are backing a failed reality TV host over your own FBI. Well, not really failed. Donald Trump, The Apprentice, was the top-rated show on NBC for 14 seasons. So, not really failed. Not really failed. Frio County Blues says Facebook should be dissolved. Why? They employ many, many people. People use the service and like it. We know their political bent. And the market smacked Zuckerberg in the face. Why dissolve them? Joseph Dunbar, FBI and DOJ need to be eradicated. No, they don't. The bad people within those agencies need to be fired. Let's see. Jim Watson said Obama was a Muslim plant. Surely America realizes this by now. Well, he's gone. Now, I think Obama was really a-religious. I don't think Obama had a religious ideology. I think Obama's godless, to be honest with you. I really do. Wise to the ways, that's a great question. Will Congress keep swinging the pendulum left? Yeah, I believe Congress will keep swinging the pendulum left. And the reason is big government loves big government, right? The bigger government is, the more power Congress has. Unfortunately. And big government loves big government. Big government begets big government. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. You know? It is what it is. Alex Deminger asks, aren't I Canadian? No, I'm American. I am an American host for the Rebel. Born in New York and lived down in South Florida now for about almost 15 years. But I am their American guy. A couple of us here. You've got Amanda Head, Does our Hollywood conservative segments, Kurt Schlichter. We're all the American team for the rebel. Let's see what we got. When will victim culture identity politics end? When the Democratic Party goes away, because that's all they've got. That is all they've got. Let me run back through some more of your comments in the last few minutes we have here. Wow, today flew by. It flies by. Oh, yeah, Jimmy B, good comment. Ruth Bader Ginsburg says she's got 5 more years left in her. I know. Terrifying thought, isn't it? But you know what that tells me? That Trump is going to win again. And hopefully tomorrow we'll fix our stream. Frio County likes the show, so I'm doing a fine job. Thank you, Frio. Old School Warrior says I'm moving to Canada soon. God, no, I love Florida. I'm done with the cold, man. I really like Canada. It's a beautiful country. Toronto's a great city. I have a great time when I go up there, but I'm done with the snow. I like my palm trees. I like being able to scuba dive. I scuba dive quite a bit. I like being able to do that in the winter. I like South Florida. I'm a happy, happy guy. Let's see. Pug Mahone says, is the Democratic Party facing extinction? well, I hope so. And I think if they continue their slide towards socialism with people like Ocasio-Cortez, they may very well be, but I don't know. If they course correct and they go more toward the Jim Webbs and the Connor Lambs, there's going to be a rejuvenated, revitalized Democratic Party. John Zealand says, rumor has it Ruth Bader Ginsburg is not in great health. Well, she's 85 years old. So we'll see, but apparently she's in pretty good health. D. McD says, am I near Tampa? No, I'm on the southeast part of the state. Southeast side of the state. Let's see. The UK has Sharia in every major city and many small towns, especially in northern England. Yeah. The UK does have some problems. Merkmad says, I live in Queensland. It's Florida without gangs. Now, where I live is we don't have gangs. That's the gang activity is in certain parts of Miami, down near Homestead, Florida, the west side of Palm Beach County. If you're east along the coast where I am, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. My area where I live has one of the lowest crime rates in the United States. And the only crime we really have are vehicle break-ins, occasionally, things like that. Copadazzo says, which New York? New York. Born in Queens, lived in Manhattan, was a cop in the Bronx. Well, born in Brooklyn, grew up in Queens, lived in Manhattan, was a cop in the Bronx. Every borough but Staten Island. I hope Obama comes back to help the Democrats in the next election. That would definitely finish the party off. Special K. Yeah, I agree. Well, Obama and Ocasio-Cortez. Billy Costa says Ginsburg couldn't even stay awake 3 years ago during Obama's State of the Union address. Well, in fairness to her, Obama was given that speech. So, in fairness to her, Obama was the one giving that speech. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, Obama announced in 2008 when he on his Middle East tour, there was no future for those who insult the Prophet of Islam. Yeah, he did. He was pandering. Hangman John Roots, my family is all down in Florida. Too many big bugs and damn reptiles, way too big. Well, that's true. We have big bugs. We have reptiles. I live in a townhouse, but close to the water, and 3/4 of a mile from downtown to one of the major cities. I mean, I could literally walk to downtown to go to the bars and restaurants. And we have so much wildlife. There's a damn monkey, a vervet monkey colony in my neighborhood. I have lizards all over my yard, raccoons, possums, snakes, not gators. We don't get gators east. But not in my neighborhood anyway. But you go a little bit west, there's gators. A lot of wildlife in Florida. A lot of wildlife. Johnny 5 says, don't advertise a lack of crime where I live. The DNC will fix that. I'm not even saying exactly where I am. Ha. The Miami area. Put it that way. Let's see. Perfect Spot Royale says, edge of the city. Yeah, I lived in downtown. I lived in the Brickell area of Miami for 11 years. Right in the city, reminded me a lot of Manhattan. It was great. Traffic just became insane. Construction and traffic. It's a wonderful place to live. And I wanted a house, a little bit of a yard, and I have dogs, and it just was time to move. It was long past time to move, but it was great living there. D. McD says, do I know the guitar chord on my shirt? I have no idea. Enlighten me. Let's see. I must be a proud American to see Trump leading my nation. Yes, I am. Well, I've always been a proud American. Merc Mad, you have biting bugs and crocodiles, poisonous snakes, but still no gangs. Good point. You got those big crocodiles. Merc Mad says Ocala's the home of Big Daddy Don Garlitz, the drag racer. Yeah, it is. Ocala's about beautiful area, by the way. And we have some hills and whatnot. Nigel, thanks for the donation. Free Jeremy Bamber, UK 33 years of injustice. I told you, don't know about enough about the case, but no evidence I'm seeing is really making me believe that, this guy needs advocacy yet. And Ocala, Merkmad, is beautiful. It's one of the few places in Florida. We have rolling hills. We have horse farms there. Really pretty part of the state. About 4.5, depending on traffic, 4.5, 5 hours northwest of Southeast Florida. PA Senate race in Casey and Barletta. Casey must go. He has not done a thing for PA. Vote Barletta. Yeah, I'm back in Barletta in that race as well. Michael Horrigan says, my dad loves that guy, drag racing. When I was a kid, he always talked about him. Don Garlitz, famous drag racer. Blast from the past. Let's see. Who will it ultimately be up to swing the pendulum back to the right if Congress goes to the left? Wise to the way it says, who it's always up to. The American people. Did I ever see Tim Tebow play football in Florida? No, I never saw Tebow play live. University of Florida, where he played, is in Gainesville. That's about 3.5, 4 hours north. Sort of middle, west, north middle of the state. Not far from the Ocala area, actually. And nope, never saw him play live. Well, it's about that time. Got to wrap it up. This hour flew by. Love being with you guys. Tomorrow morning, guys, I'm pretty sure that I won't be able to change the appointment. I really want to get these stream issues fixed. And they're going to come in about 7:30. They're going to essentially disconnect everything and put in new modem. And I want to figure all this out. So I'll keep you posted on Twitter if we're going to have a show. Right now, I'm saying we're probably not because I really need to get these stream issues corrected. But if that changes or if I can get them in later tonight or later tomorrow, then I'll post it up on Twitter that we will have a show tomorrow. If not, though, I will see you Wednesday. If something changes, I'll see you back here tomorrow at 7:30. Thanks for watching. Great comments today. Let's double up and tell your friends. I want to get this audience. I want to get the audience growing here, guys. Need your help on that. You have a great one. I will be back with you either tomorrow or Wednesday with a much better stream.